we have done an earnings preview on Qualcomm, and we had featured this a few months ago. And what we were looking at was part of the bull case, even though that there was a lot of slowdown, and just like you hear every day today. However, unlike when the other stock, Broadcom, reported earnings the other day, they did break higher. So we're looking at this Qualcomm story in its new chip sector, what that's going to look like, what the supply and demand issues are. Have they finally gotten back into their niche market or not? And the other factor is to make sure that Qualcomm is ready to bust up out of these 52-week highs. And not only that, let's take a look at what that would look like. Well, my goodness sakes, let's go right over here, my friends, and let's just take a look at this upper area where Qualcomm was really performing in this area all the way up to the highs. It had split so many times and everything, but nonetheless, we are at a top, because we are. And here's what happened at the tops in 2011. But over here in year 2000, you can see over here where the same trend lines go across this area. Now, what I'm going to show you, MMT alert service, MMT alert service, all points bulletin on Qualcomm. Now, here's what it looks like, MMT. And you can clearly see this is going to be a major factor. You know, how is Qualcomm going to get back up to the $66 handle up here when it breaks through this multi-weekly triple top of 2011 and approaching the triple top live here and now, Q1 2012, 12:32 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Qualcomm alert, earnings preview, high alert. When you take out these triple tops right here on a good earnings report, Qualcomm runs higher. If they guide the quarter up, it's a great place to be. And that's what the upside of that move looks like. It's got a lot of support level on this weekly chart, even though we are approaching at resistance levels. It's going to be the news to drive it higher up in here. And of course, there's going to be a price level that you'll be able to work with in the this area right here. And I'll show you. It'll be somewhere right about, let's see, 57.98. So let's draw that trend line. And here it is right here at these tops. It goes right over here. You've taken that out on a nice weekly breakout. And that's why these other price levels, these other tops in here are a major player. So this is what Qualcomm looks like on a weekly level of calendar Q1 2012 on earnings. They're going to report here in about probably 45 minutes. And we're going to be on the conference call. You're going to want to know why Qualcomm would be doing better and what those earnings would look like forward looking. And the most important thing about it is the perception of Qualcomm. It's rallied nicely up here. It's going to take that earnings report to start getting these things up in this area. There's $62.25 right here at that trend line when you break through it. Then you got some areas right over here. And I'm just drawing these freehand, but that's going to be about 63.79 pennies right there. That's what those upper end of resistance levels look like. The back half of the trade is also to take a look down here at where that $55 put is priced, just in case they were to guide down the quarter. You never know. But it's either there or at the neckline breakout. The breakout is the important part, is where that breakout will happen. So what I can tell my friends is you have to look at that $55 put, and you got to look down here where this breakout really started at $50. That's where it started over here back in 2011. And so far, we've gone right to the top. And we're a little bit overbought. So the thing about it is that um, we would look at buying the dips if they dropped it down in after hours. I'll give the bids right now. We'd look at it right around a drop down bid of, let's say, 53.75 cents, and then we'd probably go another one would be around 54.60 as well, as far as trying to catch some of those dips down in here um, on a drop down bid. Even if it was to give good news out, we'd be looking at the short side right up around 564 25 and 563.90 area. No, I'm talking the 65, 63s right in here. Okay. Um, that's what I'm talking about, rounding the numbers up. One of the things that we're going to do here with Qualcomm is that we have drop down bids to purchase, correct? So we're going to buy those dips down there. 55.80 would be a nice area. 54.70 would be a nice area. That would be a quick drop down on the headline report. Then it would bounce and take off into positive territory. We're always lining that lower bid on that first knee-jerk entry from the public. We're going to conclude the Qualcomm special earnings preview going into the closing bell within 17 minutes from now. We're going to be covering Qualcomm. We're going to be covering CMG. We're going to be covering, we already have all our bids out for all of these. We're about 5 to 7 to 4 deltas, just depending on what stock. We're going to be covering GMCR, and we have bids down there. We know what it's going to do. Good old Green Mountain Coffee Roasters. They're on deck. So once again, going into the closing bell with the special, when does Qualcomm return to profitability in its new product ramp, and what that would look like, forward-looking sustainability.